Hey everybody, welcome to Pink Shade. It's Mary Payne here. I got Kimberly. I'm back. I was talked bad about on my own podcast, but now I'm back.
Are you mad?
No.
Are you
Listen,
salty?
I am not salt. Listen, Matt was worse than you.
That's always worse than me.
No, I'm not salty. I don't care. Listen, if they're not talking about you, then they forgot you or whatever's that phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Any press is good press.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do
So
you think you want?
how was your trip?
Do you think you want to apologize for or
No, I'm not
no?
feeling bad about anything. I don't remember what we said. I don't remember what I said today. So
That's true. Same. Well, I told you
if I said anything, will be a 90-day apology.
Mm,
If you felt bad about anything,
mhm,
I'm sorry that you made yourself feel bad
mm,
about
mhm.
anything that I might have said.
Sounds like a housewife's apology.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. If you were offended,
Yeah,
I'm really
if you
sorry.
were offended, I'm sorry that you felt offended.
I don't have all my lights on in here, and it seems very weird. Let me turn my light on. Hold one sec. Fill the
Okay.
space. Fill the space. I'll
Oh
be right
my
back.
God. Okay. Guys, what did we say about her? I think Matt did his impression where he goes, Ginger, and he screams. We probably made fun of Hello Lash, even though we love Hello Lash. I honestly don't know what we said.
So scared
I
to
might have
pick up this
thought
up
of her
and find
going
out
on
what's being
vacation
said
too many
about me.
times.
What were you saying?
Nothing.
I listen, I know you don't like it when I draw attention to the dogs barking, but, that
I did
wasn't
hear that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're going nuts, and I have no idea why. What it is that Violet sees a squirrel, and Ginger starts screaming in the background, "Scrappy-Doo, back up." So, I don't know. There's nothing outside, I just looked, so that was another thing you made fun of me, but it's okay. It's okay. Listen,
Matt did. It's not making fun. It's just an impression.
oh, my daughter's home. Okay, everything's fine now.
All impressions are rooted in satire.
And it's fine because he's right. But here's the thing that he says. He acts like he doesn't like it, but he's the one that calls me and talks for 4 hours. So,
Yeah, he does.
mhm.
And
And he's
no, he
always like,
loves
"Let
it.
me
He
see that.
said
Let me
it's.
see her. Let me see her."
He says it's like being home. It's like
Mhm.
feels like home when he talks to you.
Yeah.
So that's nice. That's a compliment.
I'll have to listen back tomorrow to find out what you said about me when I got up, but that's okay. Yesterday we had a fun episode. We did a crossover with Chris and Juan from DocuSweeties for Love After
I
Lockup.
was just listening.
4 on the pod's kinda hard, but we kind of like
Yeah.
beforehand, we're like, just remember, like, try not to step over each other because then StreamYard doesn't record it very well, and,
Yeah.
so hopefully we did alright with it. So fun, though.
I love that.
We had so much fun. Later on this week, guys, on Thursday, I have John Hill to talk pop culture and Bravo. He has a new podcast called Show Pony where he is recapping Jackie Warner's, early Bravo
Oh,
show called Workout.
right. You said that. I have to listen. I remember that show.
It's so funny. So he's doing that. He's coming on to talk about pop culture and Bravo. And that's it. Amy and I don't have 90 Day Last Resort this week. And Hunt for Love doesn't come on until May 26th. So
I know.
we've got 3
Sweet
weeks.
Bobby.
We're gonna do Sweet Bobby. Did you watch it?
Yeah. No. But I
Did you
heard
listen?
it's amazing.
Well, I listened to the podcast, but it's been like 2 years.
So this is the documentary
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
on what?
On the story of the podcast. It's
No, I mean
about
on what platform?
Netflix.
Okay.
Netflix.
I'll have to check it out. I heard
It's
it's a
only
wild story.
yeah, it's only an hour and 22 minutes, and so that's why I picked it because I was like, "Let's just pick something short and sweet," and it's been out so people can get to it because 'cause we're trying to do, this other one called shit, it's gonna American Family Murder or something like that, but it comes out on
Okay, yeah.
it comes out on Friday, and Netflix is like, "Yeah, we'll give you the screeners." And just yeah, we'll give you those screeners, and then Kate Casey had the same problem with the same episode. She's asked for it as well and hasn't gotten it, so it's not just me. So, anyway, we're gonna cover that next week because 'cause they'll give us time to either not give it to us or give it to us, but either way, it'll be out on your
Mhm.
Netflix. So we're just going to cover stuff like that until the hunt for love comes back.
I heard you guys call it the hunt for Red October.
The hunt for Mexico House, the hunt for slutty
I think
singles.
it should be
I don't
called
know.
the hunt for herpes medication because someone's getting an STD up in there.
Yeah, so it's Tiffany, it's Tim.
Who I like.
Yeah, I love Tiffany. I think she's very inspiring.
Tim too. I know Tim, everyone hates Tim. I love Tim.
I think he's funny.
I think he's the male version of me. And I
Oh,
enjoy that.
no. Then you'd have to be misogynistic. And you're not that.
Oh no, I don't like that part. And also he likes guns a lot and I hate guns. We probably differ on a lot of political things, but I do enjoy his non-zest for life.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh. But I cannot picture him in this setting with like drunken hookups. Also with Jennifer is there. And so who hates him. And so and talked so much smack with Jesse when she was with Jesse. So
yeah, and he hates her too, by the way.
They should throw in Jesse. 1 week they should just bring in Jesse.
He loves to make a cameo on any of these shows. Yeah, he loves to just show up.
Hi, it is me, Jesse from Amsterdam. Don't cut steak on a bias. Tim, you're not a manly man.
Normally I would have a prop, but normally what he's doing is he's got a tiny little teacup and he's like,
yeah,
and a turtleneck. I'm so worldly.
Yes.
That guy. So that, and then Colt, of course, who we know, just like on the other.
Does he get hurt and leave?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. That's what happened to him the first season on Last Resort. He had a trampoline accident. And then this season he's there for like a week and then has some sort of, and he hooks up with Courtney.
I can't see that at all. That's gross.
We got Stoja Boy.
Are you sure Colt hooks up with her? Because I read an article, there's a hot guy named Cole. And I think Cole hooks up with some people.
No, I think Courtney leaves with Colt when he gets hurt. Yeah, that's dedication. It's also stupidity because then you're not getting paid for the whole thing. But
damn, she's thirsty for that 90-day D. So, and attention. Yeah, she's not my favorite.
No, she's nobody's favorite. We've got Soulja Boy. We've got Rob.
I love Soulja Boy. I mean, I don't love how he treats women, but I'm excited to watch him. And Rob, can walk into the sea.
And never return.
I do not like him. Yeah.
And then we have Chantel.
She's kind of boring to me. I'm not that excited, but all the guys are going to be fighting over her.
You know, when she gets some drinks, she kind of turns it up.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I'm excited about that. Why they're giving us a 3-week break in between? Torture purposes, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, normal podcasters would take a break, but not Mary Payne.
No. I like to make myself as stressed and sweaty as possible at all times. So yeah, we're going to
the hardest working podcaster in show business.
I will say that you did say that about me on the episode with Matt. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Oh, okay. You're welcome.
The kindness.
I've redeemed myself.
I love your little llama mad at mama behind you. Isn't that a llama?
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It's so cute. Llama. It's very sparkly.
Yeah, it is. It's a diamond painting.
Oh, well, I know it's a diamond painting. Duh.
So it's like for kids.
Yeah.
It's one of those kids kit.
It's cute.
I haven't figured out how to work the drill yet, so I can't get these. I haven't dedicated time to drill in these shelves and become a real person, an adult who knows how to work a drill. So right now it's just frames that can be stuck with that sticky stuff.
Okay, here's a suggestion for you. Thumbtack or TaskRabbit. Done.
Yeah, I did think about that, but then I'm torn between doing that and then like wanting to be an adult and learning how to do this skill. And my brother got me a drill. So now I own a drill. So
but do you want it done right, or do you want to punch a bunch of holes in your wall? Because I would say being an adult would be knowing your weaknesses and
Right.
hiring someone to do it properly. The person find like 3 things in your apartment that need to be done. These
Oh,
shelves,
yeah.
a flapper on my toilet, and then one
I
other thing, and then just call them over and they'll be there for an hour and it'll cost you like $100. It won't be much at all.
$100 is a lot. I have
You
several
you you
large
made
pieces that
$100 while you've already been sitting here. They
I'm rolling in money.
just
It's
rolling in
just
money.
it's just like Taylor Swift, like, the more time goes by, it's just I'm making my passive income,
That's
just by
right.
sitting here.
Mailbox money.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. If anyone wants to send me $100, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing crowdsourcing so I can hang up a shelf. Um, People actually need that money. So, yeah, you're right. I'll get it done. I'll get it
Okay.
done.
I wanna see it next
It's
week.
I've been here for almost a year and I have
Mhm.
several large posters that have not been hung. So that's a problem.
Easy. Also,
Yeah.
posters, literally, we got our new ones from the Grateful Dead concert, measure it out, go on Amazon, boom, order it. The frame comes for it. You put it in the frame, just like I did with my diamond painting, a pink shade, pop it in the frame,
Mhm.
hang it up. Easy. Get all your stuff ready that needs to be hung, mark it out kind of in your mind with sticky notes or whatever, where you want it to go. Call
Mhm.
the guy, spend $100, get it done, live your life.
Yeah, you're right.
I
No,
know.
you're right.
I know. Older
You're
and
right.
wiser. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, people that aren't older or wiser are people on this show, and
Some of them
I
are older, but they're just not wiser.
yeah, no one's older than me. Oh, take it back. Yep, Mark's older than me.
Yeah, you got somebody. Mhm.
Uh, I gotta tell you too that I did listen to your recap with Matt, but I haven't watched the episode from last week. So when we're going through these people, I'm gonna need you to sort of like fill in some blanks
Okay.
because
Well, our
I'm
recap was so good that you don't need to watch. That's the whole idea.
that's the
Although
holiday
Matt
idea.
Matt did the recap and not me, and he doesn't go as detailed, so
Yeah.
he kinda brushes over stuff, but I was like, "It's fine. Let it go. You
Yeah,
don't need to
Matt
control you don't need to say every single line," which
no.
we do. We
Yeah.
tend to say
Well,
every single bit of dialogue as if it is, like, Ernest Hemingway or something. Like, it
important.
has to be quoted exactly and is so important, and it's not.
We went to the Hemingway bar when we were in Paris, which is this bar. It's the last bar Princess Diana went to before she walked out the door to her death.
Oh, wow.
And it's a very famous bar in the Ritz-Carlton. It's very small. So they open up at 5:30. You have to be outside. It's in the hallway. It's not like out in the elements, outside waiting to go in, or you don't get in that first round. And then you have to wait for people to have their
Mm,
drink, have their snack, and leave before you can go in. So we've done it every time we've gone. It's called the Hemingway Bar because Ernest Hemingway, like this was his spot. This is where he loved to be in Paris. The whole wall is all, the stuff. And so we get the menu and it's like a newspaper. It gives all these facts and things. It's really interesting. And it's like, you could buy this for $12. I was like, or I could just screenshot it, which I did.
uh-huh.
Um, but they have a whole, like, non-alcoholic section. So my husband ordered a drink called the Daisy, and so I go, "Do you know why it's called the Daisy?" And he goes, "I don't know, it's got, like, daisies in it." I'm like, "No, try again." He goes, "There was somebody in a Hemingway book named Daisy." I was like, "Oh my god, Dave, The Great Gatsby." He
Come
didn't
on.
know. He didn't know.
Come on.
He didn't know.
Well,
He didn't know. I was like, "I took a 500 level course in college only on The Great Gatsby." And he was like, "Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know."
well,
Yeah, in college, I took 2 500 level courses. One was because I wanted to, because I'm weird, and the second one was because I had to. The one that I had to take was the Great Gatsby one. It didn't stick with me at all. But the one that I wanted to take that I took
something
voluntarily,
stuck with you.
yeah,
Daisy.
Daisy, was, was, this about the Sound and the Fury, the William Faulkner book. I took a whole class on just that book.
I took one on James Joyce.
Yeah.
Ulysses, which is
Yeah.
like the longest,
That sounds
hardest, most
terrible.
weirdest,
Yeah.
complicated book ever. I don't think I finished it. I don't think I finished a single book, and I was an English minor. I just don't think I ever finished. I'm a slow reader. I'm like I do on 90 Day. Like I need to get every single line, and it's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to absorb it into my brain, and I go back a lot and like
Mhm.
reread section. I'm very slow, so I don't think I ever actually finished a book.
I'm currently reading Graydon Carter's book, the former editor of Vanity Fair.
Mm.
It's really good. It's really good. It's interesting because I saw him one time at the Waverly Inn, and he was apparently there with like a wife, or now I know maybe his second wife and his kid. And then on the booth behind him was Liv Tyler and her mom. Now, what's interesting is now that I'm reading the book, I realize he is the owner of the Waverly Inn, which I did not know.
Oh.
And he says that he was, when they first opened, specifically before he hired somebody that could do it as good as he did, he every night did the seating chart. So if anybody came in, he knew where they were going to be sitting. So I was like, so are you telling me the night that Ingrid and I sat at a two top next to your table and Liv Tyler's table, that was on purpose? No,
Huh.
I think it's put those two randoms who probably don't know who we are right next to us. But he was wrong. I knew who he was. Yeah.
Uh-huh, and it wound
Yeah.
up on a podcast.
And now we're talking about it. Anyway, it's a good book. If
Mhm.
you like, I'm a longtime reader of Vanity Fair. I love it, and especially love the heyday, when they first started the Vanity Fair party and all that, it's against the Hollywood issue, the entrepreneur issue, the business issue, all it, he kind of talks about how all of it came to be. And it's a really good book, everybody.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, book
Well,
club. Let's
thanks.
talk about these dummies. 90 Day Fiance, season 11, episode 12, Blinded by Science. No, Blinded by Love. We'll start with the dummies. Are we ever going to get
Wait, who are the dummies? They're all dummies.
the biggest dummies of all?
The thruples?
The throuple.
Okay.
They're doing a lot of posting. Have you noticed them? They're doing
Are
a lot of posting together.
like boob and butt shots, like those
No,
kind of
like
postings, or like
funny,
dirt posting
funny TikToks showing what a throuple they are. Like the three of them will line up, and
together?
yeah, and it'll be like, who's the most likely to make plans? Raise hands, point fingers. Who's the most likely to make dinner? Raise hands, point fingers.
So
Like
they're
that.
together still?
According to social media, they are.
Hmm.
I don't see any attraction other than sexual between these people. I don't see any understanding. I don't see any
No.
even
Well, the
friendship.
attraction is the fame. It's the show. It's the money.
Good one. You're
Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
So, season 11, episode 12, Blinded by Love. We start with our throuple, Matt, Amini, Amani, and Annie. And
She called herself a mini,
yeah, but it's
which
Amani.
still doesn't make sense.
No. Well, Ani's name is spelled Any. So you guys.
Yeah.
So anyway, we open with these dummies. Ani is wearing a very dressy outfit. Like she's business casual. She may be going to a business meeting.
Mhm.
And her talking head, Amani is like, oh, I just, I feel really bad about me telling Matt that she loves me more than him. Like I feel terrible about
No,
this.
you didn't.
And maybe he just
You
feels
loved
left
it.
out. And so I'm going
This
to
is
set
what
up,
you wanted.
this is exactly what you wanted. And she goes, so I'm going to set up a date for Matt and Ani so they can get closer. This was the date. They sat at a taco stand. That was their date.
They watched a guy cut meat
Yeah, that
in
was
close-up shots and
yeah,
stared at each other in
yeah,
awkward silence.
and made
Why
Kimberly
is it like
upset because she's
they
a
need to
vegan.
have this connection? They've already had sex like 20 times. So,
Yeah, they had sex first
yeah.
on this trip. So anyway, they sit awkwardly and stare at the guy making food. And then he says, again, in this very odd Southern accent, he's like,
Mhm.
I will for sure make you these tacos. I'm going to add it to my repertoire. I was
She
like,
has no idea what he's saying. I
what?
guarantee you she understood one word out of that sentence.
And then he tells her, he goes, look, Amani told me that you said you love Amani more than me. And he goes, and I got to tell you, little lady, I'm getting a little jealous. And she says, no, I just feel like she shows me a lot and you need to give me more. Like you need to show me more reaction. And he's like, well, I just want you to know I'm here for you. And he says, she's my wife, but you may one day be my wife. And I care about you deeply and I want to be with you. Really? Really?
What's her middle name?
What is her birthday? Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
What is her
Um,
favorite color?
he definitely doesn't know that. And she says, I appreciate you talking with me and opening your heart. And I just want more time with you. And then they sort of like make out when they've just had like beefy tacos, which seems kind of disgusting. And then
Yeah.
as they're making out, she's like, remember the rules. We can't bang it out right here at this taco stand.
Right
We have to call
underneath
Amani
the
first.
counter in front of the taco guy.
So in her talking head, she tells us, I'm not a doll. I want to feel that they're truly here for me. In his talking head, he says, I know I should give Ani a little more faith. And I feel good. We're taking steps. I feel optimistic. And so they get on the beach and they walk and giggle and make out. And
So many
again, she
butt
is,
shots. Did you notice how many butt shots? It opens with her butt shot, then they're walking on the beach and you get both of their butt shots. It's just like that camera guy loves to crouch behind them.
I felt like because there were so many close up butt shots that her butt is fake. That's what I felt like.
Oh.
I think they were trying to make a point.
Ah.
Mm, that's what I think. So, he gets home from the date, and I guess Ani's had to go back to work. Even though it seems like, for the 2 weeks she's not working, that they're there, he could be like, "Hey, don't work for 2 weeks and we'll just pay for whatever so we can spend time with you." But no, he's like,
Yeah,
"Get that
isn't the relationship transactionary anyways?
yeah, get that coin, girl."
Yeah.
So, he gets home from the date and he's telling Amani, "I feel good about that amazing date that you planned for us at the taco stand. I feel," and he says, "The cards are falling into line."
No, that's not right,
No,
sir. That's mixed metaphors. Also, he
yeah.
said, I took steps to catch up in the relationship. Like, that's a healthy way of thinking about a throuple. Like, it's a competition, it's a race, and you are trying to catch up with your
"Wait for
wife.
me. Wait for me. I'm coming. Don't make out without me." The talking head, Amani says, I still have questions about Ani and her ex, whose name is Ray. We've been together for a year, but Ani doesn't give us any straight answers. And when we send her money, because we've been sending her money the whole time, we send it to this joint bank account she has with Ray.
No,
Huh?
no,
What?
no.
Um, so
So Ray is
Amani,
a pimp. Just let's
that's we're getting there. I think that's what we're supposed to think, or he's the club owner, so he decides when she dances. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It's an ex-boyfriend that she dated for a short amount of time that she's got a joint
hmm.
account with that they have to pay. It's all sus, okay? So, Amani, tells Matt, "I texted with Ray." He's like, "What?" And she says, "I said I wanna meet him." And he goes, "Huh?" And I think that maybe he didn't actually know that because normally he's doing that smile talking like they've
Yeah, I
rehearsed.
know he was genuinely surprised.
He was like, "We're doing what now? Is he a is
So
he a
just
pimp?
to
Is he gonna
clarify,
kill us?" Yeah.
you sent me on a date with our throuple
Mhm,
so that I could fall further in love with her and we
mhm,
could have a deeper emotional connection
mhm.
whilst you were texting her ex behind her back and are planning to blow up this entire relationship as you sent me off to develop further emotional feelings with this woman.
Yeah,
That's diabolical.
I think
That
that
if
is it.
any of this is true, that's super sick and mean to do to your husband.
Oh.
You couldn't have waited for this private love date until you figure this thing out with Ray?
Well, she had to get away from him to be able to make the call. She had to
Yeah.
send him on an errand so she'd be able to.
If it feels like, well, now the first problem we had was the connection between Matt and Ani. So now we
Mhm,
fixed that problem. So
mm,
now I've created another plot device, which is texting the boyfriend.
yes. And by the way, I don't think they solved that problem. I feel like Matt and Ani act like they barely know each other. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
yeah.
true.
So, she says, "I just need to get the full truth about Ray without Ani there. So we're gonna meet with him." So the next day
That's
they're
a great
getting
idea.
ready, and and so where is Ani? Is the next day. And she goes, "Yeah, Ani's gonna be hella pissed about this." And
Yeah.
Talking Head Matt goes, "Yeah, doing something behind her back kinda pulls at my moral heartstrings."
Okay.
Matt's not so bright.
No, he's a
That's
cow.
just
He
what.
sounds like a cowpoke.
Mhm. And, they're gonna be meeting her family soon, and so they need to make sure everything's okay before they do that because he has kids too that he has to think about. Well, then why'd you leave him at home for 2 weeks?
Yes.
So
45 minutes away.
they walk up to this restaurant, and I gotta tell you something about Amani is really beautiful.
She's gorgeous.
She's
She
got that,
really
like,
is.
black turtleneck on and, like, this sensible pants.
Yeah,
And
she
and
does look good. She looks really good.
I was like, "Aren't you hot? Aren't you in Mexico?" So here comes Ray, who's like an American dude who's older and not very cute, and they're stunned because they just have to assume that everybody Ani is with is hot, but
Yeah.
no, it's this old dude's got money, so yeah, and I guess we're gonna find out next week her name is really Brenda, I don't know, which is hilarious
I,
that her name would be
I,
Brenda.
but they're still together. Brenda. Brenda's the fake name. I don't think anyone. That's not a Mexican name, is it? Brenda?
I
Maybe
I
it is.
maybe it is, I've
Maybe
never
it
heard
is. What do I
it,
know?
and it's also an older name, an elder's name, and
Yeah.
she's pretty young, she's
It's
in her
like
30s.
Gladys.
Yeah, I don't think Gladys will ever make a comeback. A lot of names
No.
have made comebacks. I don't think Gladys is one.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I think
Um,
Brenda might be a Mexican name.
okay.
It's
Well,
not traditionally Mexican. It's it's not a common traditional Mexican name. It's used in Mexico.
okay,
Thanks,
Kimberly.
AI bad. I just burned up like 80 trees to get that information.
Oh my God. All right, let's move on to Greg and Joan.
Oh boy.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
So Joan is learning to love the dogs. By the way, these dogs I don't feel like are well behaved, and I feel like that's Lucille's fault because I forgot to mention, but when they were sorting the socks,
Hmm.
the
Black and white socks.
ejaculation
Stop.
ejaculation socks
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
that we did not pick up on. Um the dogs just bark at Joan whenever she walks into a room and sits down, and that she's been living in the house for a while. That is not nice. I don't like that.
Well, my
So
dogs bark at me if I've been gone for 20 minutes or 20 seconds. When I enter the room again, it is like, whoa, where have you been? It could have
so
been 4
this
days
felt
or
aggressive. Though
10
this
minutes.
felt like there's a stranger in our house
Oh, no, they're
and
just
she's
barking
not
out of
allowed to sit on the couch.
no, my dogs are barking because 'cause they're excited. Yeah.
Exactly. So, she says she's gonna help Greg give them a bath, and then they're making jokes about, like, her massaging him, and then he's making a lot of digs at her, and, like, he's like, "Joan's way of washing the dogs is the way she gives me a massage. Terrible."
Like,
I'm kidding," and I was like, "Greg, take it easy, tiger. You don't need to be making fun of this lady who's way out of your league." And then he's like, "The dogs are the luckiest dogs in the world. I wish she would give me a bath. That would be more action than I've gotten in the past few days." I was like,
yeah,
"Greg, what the heck?"
he's starting to feel that he needs to be having more sex. Whose fault is that, Greg? Look inward.
Yeah, look inward. You should be kissing the ground this woman walks on.
Yeah.
So then Lucille comes out like, Greg, your phone's been going off like crazy. So he leaves her, Joan, to deal with both dogs, and they of course run away. And she says they're offended because they won't let me sleep. I won't let them sleep in the bed with us.
Mhm.
But dogs also just run around nuts after a bath, but she doesn't know that.
Yeah, they do.
So Greg comes out and he's like, I have to tell you something. I got the job. And she's like, "Oh my God, wow. We've been praying for this. Now we can finally move out of this hellscape and get away from these dogs. This is great news." So he's going to take her to New York City, to Manhattan. And he's teaching her how to talk New York as if living with Lucille wasn't enough. He's like,
Uh,
"I'm walking here." And she's like, "I'm walking here." It was funny. And then he says, "We should be saving for a house, but I finally got a job." Air horn sound. I can't do air horn sound. And Joan,
Doesn't Katie do that on your podcast all the
she
time?
does it great. Yeah, she does it really good, and I can't do it. She's like, I finally got a job. That means Joan is not leaving me. She might leave you for other reasons, though, Greg. Just because you got a job doesn't mean you don't have to step up your behavior and all of the other bad qualities you have.
He hasn't worked one day, not one day. Yeah.
Calm down. So he's like, we're celebrating. So he says they're driving in and he says, we're taking the Midtown Tunnel. And this means we're going to be totally submerged underwater. So I press a button on my car and it turns into a submarine. And that is standard issue on all American cars. And she kind of half believes him for a second.
Yeah.
And that was funny. And then as they're driving in, he goes, I love the city. I used to work out of the city. And I went, you used to work?
Was it a state job that was based in Manhattan? What was happening?
Manhattan Barbie? You used to work? What did you do, Greg?
Mm-hmm. He had a job.
Pizzas?
Maybe.
Plumbing?
Anything.
Sweaty bread?
Is better than what he's doing now, which is nothing.
I know. So he is going to take her. Oh, so he's showing her like the tall buildings, the traffic, the Times Square, the lights and it's very sweet. She's very excited. And then he takes her for a fine dining experience with a slice of pizza, which I was actually happy he was saving some money and not doing like a really, really fancy, like Michelin star restaurant.
Yeah.
He can't afford that. And then he's teaching her how to fold the pizza and eat it like a New Yorker. And she thinks it's the best pizza she's ever had, better than Ugandan pizza, which no one was surprised by that. I didn't.
Yeah. It was like he did say at one point, didn't he say, she's from the actual jungle and this is the concrete jungle.
The concrete jungle.
Silly.
And he says the excitement on her face is just so wonderful to see. And it keeps cutting to her and she's just like calmly eating the pizza. Like she's not very expressive. She doesn't show a lot of excitement, but that's just her way, I think. And then they're going to go to a hotel and he's going to rock her world.
Good.
With her permission, I hope. So they go to the hotel and he makes her wait in the hallway as he sprinkles rose petals. He does the Love After Lockup standard issue. Rose petals, fake candles that are battery operated, and then he pops a bottle of champagne. And then he finally lets her back in from the hallway.
She's just like
she's sitting there. I think she knocked on the door like, hello.
That's good though. Romantic. I'm glad he was doing that for her. She deserves it.
It was nice. Couldn't you call ahead and maybe like have the hotel do it or something?
This is
they won't
not
do
that
it
kind
for
of
you?
Hotel. No.
Okay. So he says, I love you. I never want you to go back to Uganda unless we're going on vacation or something. I felt like that was like I'm not holding you captive though. Like you could go back if we're going on vacation. I just don't want you to leave me. And she says, I know I push you and you're really trying. And I hate having to be this strict, controlling girlfriend, but it's for our future. And also you won't do anything unless I push you. So I'm going to have to keep pushing you. Oh no, Mary Payne went silent.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, there we go.
That happened yesterday too when I was recording with the ladies. It just says,
and it sounds like it's not your normal mic either. Check the settings.
It says like your mic was unplugged, and I'm like, no, it was not, and it switched. Now it's switched back. Okay, are we good now?
Mm-hmm.
What was the deal? It did that yesterday too. I can't have any glitches in my life.
No.
Okay, continue with the what romanticism with Joan and Greg. I apologize.
Well, she's doing a lot of apologizing for pushing him.
Ooh.
I think he literally wouldn't do anything if he wasn't being pushed because Lucille doesn't push him and thus he has done nothing so far. Correct. And now Joan has come and within a month she's gotten him to get a job. So pushing is what he needs. But she apologizes and says, I was really hard on him and he's flown to Uganda multiple times to see me and he paid to bring me here. I appreciate what he's doing. And then he kicks the camera crew out of a sliding door. I was like, did he put them on the balcony or in the bathroom? That was not the door to the hallway. It was a sliding door.
I did not notice that.
Sliding door. It was like literally a frosted sliding door. So unsure where he put them. Maybe there's some sort of vestibule outside of the hotel room. I
Did he
don't know.
say,
Anyway,
just
he
go in the
kicked him.
bathroom? It's going to be really quick. You can come right back.
Yes.
That's terrible.
But anyway, they're happy. We'll see how long he sticks with this job because he's gonna come home all sulky and be like, "This isn't my dream. My dream is the bakery.
I
This
had to
isn't
work
what I
so
want to
hard.
do.
I had
I
to
don't
wake
want
up at
to
8.
have to answer to someone else in a
Mm.
job.
Mhm.
I really just think I'm a kind of person that needs to be my own boss. And so, how can I just be my own boss right now, tomorrow, without putting in any steps to get there?"
Mm. Okay, let us know if you figure that out, Greg. Um, we're going to move on to Shekinah and Sarper, but I have to tell you, I felt that their scene this week was extremely fake. Now, I have no idea what happened with them last week. Why did they get in a fight and he stormed off? What happened? Can you
She
remember?
recorded their fight,
Oh,
and apparently she was cooking dinner for him, and he came home from the park, which is the only place he goes to, and, I don't know how she was cooking because 'cause they're not supposed to cook in that apartment because the smells, but
yeah.
he was, like, not appreciative or something, or he was in a bad mood, and he took it out on her because
Uh-huh.
he's lonely and homesick and
Hmm.
has to go to the park every day. And he was like, "I don't like your face, that face you're making." And I was like, "I just think you don't like the face." And you designed the face.
Uh-huh.
Um, and they just started screaming at each other. Basically, he had a bad attitude and he took it out on her. And that was it.
All
And she
right.
doesn't appreciate that he has sacrificed and left everything to come here.
So when he comes back in the apartment, is this the same day or is this a new day?
No, it's been 2 days.
Where did he sleep?
I think he slept on the couch, she said. Yeah,
That's not true. That's like a love scene. All this is fake. I'm mad
I know.
about it. So
It's all the same room too, because there's no door on the bedroom door, so
no,
it's
it's
just all the
all
same.
I
You're
don't
still
believe any of
sleeping in the
this.
same room.
So he walks in and she's in quite a get up. She's in a blue jean strapless corset and pink
Yeah.
blue jeans. So just again, just
Much like when Hilaria wore those space buns during a very serious conversation about the woman
yes.
that died on the set of Rust,
Yes.
this
Uh-huh.
does not feel like an appropriate outfit to have a "Are we gonna stay together?"
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, but he's also in a tank top cut down to his navel. So,
Yeah.
as per usual. So, in his talking head, he says, "We have to solve our problems. I've missed it. I don't know what is the problem here, so I have to talk to Shekinah." So he sits down and he's telling her, he thinks they are a 1 in a million match, but he feels weak because here in the States, he can't work. Here, he's just dog sitter. And she goes, "Okay, so but did I make that rule? Like, is it my fault that that's happening, or is it like the United States of America?" And it's I didn't make the rule, and you're acting like an asshole. And he goes, and he says, "The truth is, you don't like me anymore." And she goes, "What are
Mhm.
you talking about?" And she goes, "I don't like this dismissive, cold, and rude Sarper. That's what I don't like." And
No,
he
it's
goes,
more like, "I don't like this dismissive and rude Sarper."
"That's
Gotta do the
better.
vocal fry.
That was better." And he says, "All this change has put me down into depression." And she goes, "Oh, okay. So in the last 2 days, you've gone into a depression, and now I'm horrible to live with just in the last 2 days." And
That's
he goes,
nice to do when your partner says they have a mental health issue.
It's
Mock them.
not super supportive. Um, and he says, "Shekinah, you're not the same sweet girl you were in Turkey. You used to listen to me and not talk to me harshly." She
So I
says,
think the sisters have gotten in both of their heads. I think the
"Oh,
band of
uh-huh,
sisters, they
uh-huh.
got into his head because he started reminiscing about when she was more geisha and
Correct.
would wait on him and submissive and talk nicely to him. And she is trying to defend herself and be like, "No, I'm not a doormat," like they said. Like, I'm
Mhm.
totally a strong, independent woman. And so now she's second guessing and picking on everything he does.
Well,
So the
I
power
feel
struggle.
I feel like it's fake because of the not because of him, because his acting is pretty decent. Hers is so over the top that's why I think they planned this whole thing. So,
Well, it's true. They are pretty happy. They need some conflict
yeah.
in their
And he says,
storyline.
"You're being reckless with our relationship." Um, so she says, sorry, back up. She says, "The version of me you get depends on how you treat me, and how you've been treating me is the reason you're hearing this voice and seeing this face. It's because of a
Mhm.
series of bad choices that have put us in a bad situation. And now I don't even know if I want to get married. You're being reckless with our relationship." That's what she says. Now, all of this is not true. Okay. So he says,
When he does say, "I don't recognize you," I was like, "Neither do we."
no.
Um,
And she's just
we
posted
see
something like in the last couple of days of a whole new thing she did.
no,
Darcy style. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I saw Stacy's latest picture, and it's terrifying.
I don't listen, it's upsetting. I don't know why.
It's very upsetting.
Just leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
So do like me, put a double filter on this screen and call it a day.
Mhm. Call it a day.
So he says, "If we break up, you will cry for years for me." And she goes, "Oh my God." And he goes, "It's not ego. I just know I am most perfect match in the world for you." So the talking head, he says, "Shekinah and I, we are so different, but we are like puzzle pieces that fit together exactly. But now things are different. She's not listening to me. She's not doing what I want." All right. So then he says, "Sometimes I feel like in this house I'm walking on the eggshells." And she goes, "If you don't like it and you feel like you're on eggshells, you can leave." And he goes, "Wow, threat." And she goes,
Wow.
"It's not a threat. Like,
Threat.
it's the truth." And he says, "All of the things that you're saying totally suck." And she says, "The man I love doesn't know what I want, doesn't listen to me, doesn't know how to treat me right. And that's bad for me." And he says, "People argue, but you're so bad at fixing it. You have no compromise skills." She goes, "Why do I have to fix it? What did I do wrong?" And he goes, "Oh, Shekinah, I'm just missing the freedom I had in Turkey." She was like, "You have all the freedom in the world. You go to the park every day. Like, what are you talking about?"
That's literally the only place he can go, though. He
I
sits on a bench like a sad little kid whose mom forgot to pick him up after school at the park every day.
know.
Like, he can't go anywhere else because he's a guest in your house, and you keep calling it your house. Like, you have not made any space for him in your life.
He's not able at this time to go and teach laugh aerobics at the gym.
Exactly. Although she did say last week she was moving out that workspace. She was
Oh,
cleaning out. So she was packing up her bottles and she
mm,
was wiping them all down, and they kept doing close-ups. And I was like, why are we seeing her do the wiping the bottles and putting them in boxes? And she said she was making a compromise
uh-huh.
by moving out into like a workspace so he can
Yeah.
cook in the house and have a living room.
Well, somebody said, or maybe it was you that said, if she was gone so often that it wouldn't make sense for her to pay for a workspace if she could only take clients when she was home. So she had to make her kitchen, living area, half bath area into a workspace. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think that they each need a space to be able to go to in that apartment.
Exactly, because they both like to run away. Like,
Mhm.
in Turkey, she would go to a hotel. She should pay
Right.
for him to go to a hotel every time they get into a fight in
He had a much
America.
bigger he had a much bigger place,
Yeah, he
you
did,
know.
but she would still go to a hotel.
Yeah, she would. So, and the talking head, he says, when she was in Turkey, my home was her home. I accommodated her, and my family treated her like a daughter. She doesn't see my side. Um, I think that's all true, but also your apartment was filled with fluid and
Yeah, but he
uh,
did burn them. He got rid of them.
mhm. He got rid of the bottles and he got rid of the
He didn't
diary.
get rid of the apartment, though. He is only
True.
1 foot in because he
Mhm,
had his parents keep the apartment.
mhm. I wonder if he's Airbnb-ing it and if it came with a hazmat warning.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Things have happened here that you may not be comfortable with.
Basically, you are renting a porn site
A
to
porn
live in.
site.
If you're
Mhm.
okay with that, that's fine.
Yeah. So he says to her, he goes, I don't want to lose this relationship. 1 in a million. I don't want another relationship ever. And she says, really? Because I'm thinking I could find somebody more compatible than you. I'm thinking I could find somebody I'm more compatible with than this. I could find a real man. So this is why I know it's fake. Because I think even if she was mad at him, she would never say that.
Yeah.
And I think if she was saying that in earnest, he would flee the
He would
country.
flip out.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would. Yeah. And he goes, what? Why you say that? And she says that, she goes, I just don't want to be treated like shit just because you had a bad day. And you haven't even said you're sorry. And he says, I have said I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm apologizing. And you're being rude to me. And that's the problem. She goes, you know what? When you figure out how to she stomps upstairs.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
That is what I hear when she talks.
And in the talking head, she's sitting. This is a different view that we've seen from her upstairs. It seems like she's sitting in a chair in her closet and like the bed's behind her. So we're seeing more of this space upstairs. And she says, I never even wanted to get married again. I should have stuck with that plan. Now I just feel foolish for bringing him here. We don't believe you. We don't believe you. Don't believe you. All right, that's it. Jessica and Juan. Also don't believe they have any problems, but let's see what you think.
You think Megan is fake? Megan, the doll that flosses?
No. No, I think Megan is a real problem, but I don't think Jessica and Juan care too much about what Megan thinks.
Did I tell you Megan was on Pillow Talk? Did you see it?
No, I haven't had a chance. You know why? Because they're putting Sister Wives in between. I just don't have the time to watch all that. But maybe I'll watch it this afternoon. I got to catch up.
She tried to redeem her entire personality because Tim and Veronica called her and were like, they were gonna go after her. Like you could tell they were gonna be like, girl, are you in love with Jessica? What's happening? Why are you like this? But instead she was just like started giving gossip and tea about like Juan and Jessica's sex life, like their romance. Like she had like all the dirt and how they met on the cruise and Jessica's ex was there. They all got the cruise together, which we had known. They bought it but then they got broke up. And they were too into that. It was like a distraction game. And they never asked her about her personality and why she's like this. And then they hung up and they were like, she was great. She was not what I expected. And I was like, good job, Megan. You used a distraction game like with a toddler and you got them to not ask you about your crazy, weird stalker personality. And now you came off looking great.
What did she say about their sex life?
She said like it's hot and heavy and she knows everything. And like, I can't even remember. I was disturbed. And then it was more about the cruise too, how they broke up or they met on this cruise and how awkward it was. But yeah, I can't even remember. That's how she's just not interesting to me. And I was waiting for Tim and Veronica to ask the hard-hitting questions. Are you in love with Juan? Are you in love with Jessica? Do you talk about them while you are making love to your husband? What goes on in your brain that makes you think it's okay to act like this? And they never did. So
well, good
job, Megan.
Good job, Megan. Okay.
So we open on the crying David baby. It's really focusing on the baby crying to underscore the fact that Juan is living in hell. Whatever the seventh ring of hell is the crying baby on an airplane in the middle seat. And the only thing they're serving on the plane is watery mac and cheese soup.
Ew, okay.
Did you see that episode or was that where you were gone?
Okay, no, I saw it. I got it.
Yeah. So, and also the subtitles on the screen say baby cries hysterically.
Poor David. He doesn't feel good.
Yeah. Stop being such a hysterical baby, David. So you're so hysterical, just like a woman. So they go and they see the wedding venue, which she has seen not in the winter, but now they are going to go see it in the winter because they only have 90 days. So she said, I don't really want to get married in the winter, but that's what we're doing. It's going to be a winter wonderland, AKA frozen hellscape theme that smells like cow manure. So
why can't they get married inside?
Exactly. So Juan comments as they're walking up, all the trees are dead. And she goes, welcome to winter. And like, she's always Like,
She
and then
never
we're
she
getting,
never like you said, she never agrees. She never says, "Oh, I know, it's not so great." She always defends it. Like
which is not, as a therapist, you're supposed to like validate someone's. I know he's not her patient, but
right.
like she never validates his opinion. And
You're right.
that's frustrating.
Totally.
So then they do a lot of close-ups of the dirty ice on the ground just to make, they're doing her town dirty. They really are. Like ever since the cow poop focus, we
Mhm.
are just, it's sad. I'm sure that town has some really good qualities
I
and we're
told
not
you my
seeing
nephew
them.
was living there for a long time. He just moved, but he was living there for a long time.
Did he say it smelled like cow poop?
Well, he's a cowboy, so he wouldn't notice,
He doesn't
but
smell. Yeah.
he doesn't smell it, but he said it's a great little town. Yeah.
He doesn't mind having to drive 45 minutes to go bowling, I guess. So
No.
they go up, and the wedding, that they're like, "Oh, it's cold, it's winter, and all the trees are dead." And the wedding venue lady is like, "We're going to have a fire pit on all night because your guests will be getting hypothermia otherwise." So that's what we're trying to avoid. Everyone will leave here with all their fingers and their toes.
One
So
fire pit's not
um
gonna cut it, lady, you
no, and
know?
then she's like, "We can make s'mores to prevent them from smelling the manure smell. Maybe it will cut that." So, and he's like, "Oh, I've never had s'mores." And then he finally sees something he likes. He goes, "Oh, that's a cool bar area." And Jessica goes, "We won't get to be at the bar because we'll be taking pictures." It's like the one thing he was excited about. Debbie Downer. God. And so Juan is like, I don't really care. It's just a wedding. Weddings are more big for the woman. It's not as big of a deal. But he actually does care about some things. And every time he cares about something, Jessica's like, "Wait, we can't do that. Whatever." So there's a gazebo outside, and she's like, "This is so beautiful for Jessica's special day featuring Juan." And I know that's a joke that all couples make. I know that's a joke. I get it. But like it actually feels real in this case.
Well,
And
I did kind of feel sorry for him in this scene.
I
I
really do.
did. Yeah.
So, they're standing outside where the ceremony is gonna be, and the host goes, "We're gonna have blankets for the guests. We're gonna try to make them as comfortable as possible." Like a dog that you are gonna put down soon.
No, don't say that, Kimberly. No.
We're gonna make them as comfortable as possible. They're going into hospice, and
Yeah,
then,
it
we're
was
gonna, yeah,
yeah.
and then, if it snows, we'll give the guests clear umbrellas so they won't be just sitting out there in the snow. They
How
will be
about
sitting in the
go
snow.
inside?
Go inside. And poor Juan, he's just like, "Thanks a lot. Thanks. That's great. Okay, clear umbrellas. That's good to hear. Okay, great." It's just like constantly that Curb Your Enthusiasm music, and his thought bubble is, "I've made a huge mistake."
Yeah.
And so he says, Colombian weddings are by the beach. It's a huge party. It's like a carnival, and like it's so fun and exciting. And my family's coming from Colombia, and it's not just like young people. I have like old aunties and grannies, and they're going to be like in the snow, and they actually might die because it's the old people that are going to die first.
Yeah, go inside. Go inside.
Yeah.
It's easy. Solve
And
it.
and he's like, we have laughing and drinking and carnival. And Jessica goes, "Well, we'll have the laughing and the drinking, but not the carnival." And he's like, "Okay,
Let's
it's
see the
fine here."
inside
He
of the
goes,
venue. Let's see the inside of the venue.
"Let's go inside."
Yeah.
He says, "It's fine here. It's just so American. It's nothing from my culture." And she is so annoyed. She's like, "What do you need to make it feel more Colombian?" Like, she's so not into this. And he says, "Oh, well, there's this traditional Colombian white shirt that, we wear, but it'll be too cold to wear. So I could wear it like under my sweater, I guess." Like, he's so sad. And then the host goes, "Well, if it's like a full on blizzard below, like 60 degrees below, we'll move it inside." Basically, like, if the survivors of the Andes plane crash start eating each other
Mm.
and, like, wrapping themselves in the carcasses to stay warm,
Oh,
then we
God.
will move it inside. But other than that, we're staying outside.
I don't understand
That's the
what the
best I can do for you.
why can't they just have it inside and let him wear his traditional shirt and
I
all
think
that?
because Jessica has imagined this outside, and
She imagined it outside in the spring.
right, but
Yeah.
it's Jessica's day.
Oh,
So
sorry, I forgot. Sorry.
Also, the chairs are all set outside the gazebo. Maybe the inside isn't as big. I'm not sure. But she's like a marriage counselor. The host of the
Yeah.
venue is just like, that's all we can do. Okay, bye. Can we continue the tour? And she kind of just walks away. She's like done with their marriage problems. And Jessica's so annoyed. She's like, we've been planning this wedding for 2 years. Why is he just bringing it up now? He could have told me earlier that he wanted parts of his culture. Well, you could have thought about that too, though. Like something to make your house is covered with word art
Yeah.
and
And
nothing
so, by the way,
Colombian.
so will this wedding. The whole wedding is going to be covered.
Gather,
Yes. Mhm.
love,
Mr. and Mrs.
Mr. and
All of it.
Mrs., bride
Mhm.
and groom.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All of it.
So a sign that says there's no bride's side and groom's side. We're all in this together. Don't pick a side, pick a chair or something. One of those signs.
Yes. It's just going to be, there's going to be so many instructional signs all over the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she's like, why didn't you tell me this earlier? And he says, it looked a little boring. It was brown and dead and no colors. And she's like, well, we're going to have flowers and we're going to have photos of us from our adventures. And he says, okay, but I'm talking about my culture. And I know you're trying to be positive because
Mhm.
she's trying to like always put a positive spin, but it negates his feelings. Why
Yeah.
can't you listen to me? Why don't they do music? They could do Colombian music
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
There's lots of
So
ways they
he
could do
said,
it.
yeah. And he's like, I'm stressed. I can't work. And then he tells us that he got a call from the cruise ship offering him a job and he hasn't told her yet. Oh boy. So then he goes to the Get Fit gym, GIT, Get
Oh,
Fit.
did it say get GIT? Get fit? Let's
Get
go.
fit,
Yeah.
get fit. And so I've never seen him so happy walking into a gym. He's like, "Hi, let's work out." Like he's so excited, like he's smiling, like he never smiles at home. And he says he loves working out. When he was a skinny, ugly teenager, no, none of the girls wanted him, and now the ladies love him after he started working out. So he loves it.
Okay.
And he's meeting his gym partner, Herbie, Megan's long-suffering husband. And he says, I've become great friends with Herbie, even though his wife is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, his wife is a demon, but that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a doll that comes to life and then flosses and then kills you. But it's fine. I really like him. So they're friends, and Herbie is actually planning his bachelor party. They're going to Deadwood, which is a gambling and party town. And I was like, we'll see.
Okay. Listen, he'll feel like he's back on the boat. Yeah.
Is it or is it
I don't
like
know.
sad, like in a strip mall? I don't
We'll
know. We're
find
gonna
out.
find out.
Either way, it's
Yeah.
more exciting than having to drive 45 minutes to bowl. Yeah.
Great point. So Juan says, I wish I could work sooner. And Herbie says, well, once you're allowed to, it's easy to find a job here, but you might not like them. It's farming, it's ranching. You're going to be covered in poop all day long. And also, it's 0 degrees outside, and you're going to have to be standing in frozen cow poop. Is that appealing to you?
Mhm.
And Juan's like, couldn't I get a bartending job? And Herbie's like, you're not going to find a bartending job here. And even if you did, you're not going to get good tips like you do on the cruise ship.
Right.
And so Juan says, Juan tells us about his passion for cruising. It wasn't just a job, it made him feel complete. Cruising, you complete Juan. And it's very beautiful. He talks about it in a way he never talks about Jessica.
Okay. Okay. True.
He loves cruising.
He loves to cruise. My AC guy came today to do a summer checkup on the air conditioner. And I said, I'd just been in Puerto Rico and whatever. He goes, I'm going to Mexico soon on a cruise. And literally I screamed. I was like, I love to cruise. He's like, simmer down, lady. You're not invited. Not invited. I love to cruise too.
That's how Juan is. He's
Mhm.
like, he loves the sights, the smells, the people, the excitement, the friendships, the camaraderie, the loud pulsing music, and the drunken sticky floors. And he
All of
just
it.
loves it. And he never talks about Jessica or the family that way. And it makes me sad. I feel bad for her too, but I feel bad for her too.
She got pregnant with a guy she met on the cruise. I mean,
Yeah, and he should have wrapped it up too. I blame both of them for that.
Totally.
100%.
Yep.
So He wishes he could take another contract and save money, but Jessica would not like that. And Herbie's like, yeah, if you did that, you'd be leaving her and the baby and the word art, and she'd have to take care of all of it and be the parent, you know?
Mhm.
She would not like that. And he's like, wait till I get home and tell Megan this gossip. She will murder Juan. Should
I
I
didn't
tell
even
her?
think about that.
He's like, "What if I'm in the
Oh,
doghouse with Megan about something? I'm gonna save this bit of gossip for when I'm in the doghouse, and then I can get." He'll be like, "You can't be mad at me because I have hot goss."
that's a
And
great
it's
point.
another reason for you to hate Juan, which I know is the blood of young innocence that keeps you alive, is hating Juan. And so he
Yeah.
is gonna come home. He's saving this, I think, for a rainy day.
I wonder if Juan actually made this up to test, just like they're doing on the Valley right now, to test if Herbie's really his friend or if he'll tell Megan, who will
Tell
then
Megan.
yeah.
Very smart. I
Mhm.
love that idea.
Can I trust him or
So
not? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, but why would he wanna blow up his one friendship in America? His one friend. It's so sad.
Well,
He needs to
his
know if
one
he can
friend
trust
is
him
a
or not.
his one friend
Yeah,
is attached to his mortal enemy, so I don't know.
right. His one friend could be a spy,
All
basically.
right. Yeah.
So, you have to find out if that person is a spy for the enemy team.
Mhm.
So, he, says, "So I actually never," he tells us, "I never actually quit after my last contract because I thought I'll leave the door open in case I didn't find a job in America." He
Mhm.
doesn't say in case it didn't work out with Jessica. He
Right.
says in case I couldn't find a job here. And my boss has been reaching out. And I told him that I can't work now because of this work permit thing. Because I guess now that he's living in America on that visa, he needs the American work permit.
Right.
So he can't go to work on the cruise ship yet, but once it comes through, he would be into that. And he
Mhm.
said, "I know Jessica will be sad, but I'm miserable here, not working and staying home with the kids.
Yeah.
And I'm also just miserable here. And I don't think the job is it's an issue, but I don't think it's the main issue. I think you're miserable there. I
I
think
think he's miserable being a stay-at-home dad. I think if he could get a job at one of the restaurants and be the bartender and have his,
yeah,
customers and
maybe
all that, then he would feel more part of the community.
yeah, maybe like, I don't think there's a Colombian restaurant, but, like, there's a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
So, he could make guacamole at the table and talk to the people and, like, schmooze. Like, I think he
Yeah.
loves that, like, interaction because he was, like, one of the party guys on the boat, you know?
Yeah, he wants to be
So
like the Tom Cruise in Cocktail, like shaking the cocktails, doing the
exactly,
flipping, and yeah, all the girls thinking he's
exactly.
cute and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, so if there is a place with that sort of scene,
Yeah.
that could be
Just
but
any
also,
scene.
like any
It
scene, but also,
yeah.
like, I think they only have 1 car. Is she gonna be, like, taking him? She also works, then who's gonna watch the baby?
Mm.
I don't know how this works. Do they get a babysitter? Like, is
Gotta
Megan
call
gonna watch the kid?
Megan. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't Megan also a therapist, though? Like,
Yes, she is.
that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Um, so, also, I saw on Reddit someone posted the website for their, group, their therapy, like, company.
Are they in the same group?
Yes,
Oh,
and,
okay.
the photos are just not professional, like, people were making fun of them, like, it just
Oh,
looked very, like, put together by, like, an
like me? Like somebody who
intern or like
yeah.
me. I don't well, I was gonna say like a young person. I was like, actually, a young person would make a way better
Yeah.
website than an old person like us. It would be like but like one of the photos, the lady's in shadow. It's like she's in witness protection or something. And I'm like, and it because it's like meet our team, and it has a picture of all the
Uh-huh.
therapists. And like one of the I think the picture of Jessica is from like it does not look like her. Like, I don't even know if it was her or it's from 20 years ago. Like,
She already looks
crazy.
super young, so if it was from
I
20 years
know.
ago, she must look like she's in high school.
Or it's like Photoshop to hell, or
Yeah.
it wasn't even her. Maybe
Yeah.
there's 2 Jessicas at the place. Like, I don't know. But, it was very funny. So then, Herbie gives him good advice, and he's like, "You just need to talk to Jessica about this. It's
Yeah.
not gonna go well, but more fodder for me to tell my wife about. So, go
Good
for it."
luck. Keep the hot goss coming. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like their bromance. Like, I do think that I'm glad he has a friend at least, even if he is
Me
a
too.
spy.
Me too.
Like,
Because we've only seen all those girls now look just alike with the blonde hair. It's like Megan
and
and
they
then the
just
other
stare at
friend.
him and criticize him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm glad he's got Herbie, which is hard to say. It's like Herbie Hancock, I guess.
Herbie Hancock, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Herbie the
Herbie.
Love
You
Bug.
just don't hear that very often.
No.
All right,
Like
we'll move
Gladys.
like Gladys. We'll move on to Shawn and Alliya. So they're back from Sonoma County. Now, I didn't see any of this. I didn't see any. I just saw a flash from last week on or whatever, because I heard you
Mhm.
and Matt talking about her dress looked like a potato sack or something. But then I
Yeah.
saw the flashbacks and I only saw it from here up. So I couldn't tell. It didn't look terrible.
I thought it looked like a '70s Barbara Streisand kind of number.
Uh huh.
It had no shape to it.
Hmm.
It was very much just like a straight down and then feathers all along the bottom.
Maybe it was, maybe she broke the glass and took that Barbara
Yeah,
dress out.
exactly.
She was like, "Today's the day. I've watched
Uh-huh.
all of A Star Is Born. Can I wear it
Yeah.
now?"
You know, it's
Um,
kinda like the style that, Sabrina Carpenter wears when she performs,
yes.
which is also fairly shapeless. It's like a nightie
Yeah,
almost,
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
with the feathers on the bottom, and I think so that's maybe why I'm thinking it's like '60s, like
Yeah.
that sort of
I
vibe.
love that kind of a dress, though.
Mhm.
I love a shift dress with no shape. I don't wanna cinch a
I
waist.
wanna be able to breathe, I wanna be able to eat.
I don't want a
Yeah.
body con. I don't want a
Yeah.
stash, nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing around the gut area.
No.
So, Shawn and Alliya, so they're back from Sonoma County, and the wedding is less than a month away. So they're gonna bedazzle outfits for Max because Max has to have a costume change. Maxwell, the dog, and they go outside to look at it, and Aliyah's like, "Oh my gosh, you have everything here." She's so excited because she loves the crafts. She loves to
I wish
craft.
he had taken her to Joann's, and they could have shopped together. I think she would have loved a Joann's.
Yeah, I don't know if this is just his crafting basket that he
Oh,
already
yeah,
had.
he might have already had that
He might just already
stuff.
had
That's
it.
interesting.
So he says, "How are you feeling?" And then he says, "So, the wedding's so close. Are you having second thoughts?" And she kind of
I don't
doesn't.
like this. I think you gotta save crafting time for fun time and
Oh,
save the serious conversations for I don't know. On this show, they do it, like, over mealtime. I also don't like that. I don't wanna
okay.
ruin my meal with a serious conversation, and I don't wanna
Mm,
ruin my crafting with a serious conversation.
I see it. Well, they had to kill two birds with one stone. So he
Yeah.
says, "You're having second thoughts." So she doesn't understand that phrase. So he says, "It means like, are you thinking you want to make a different answer?" And she gets really quiet. He's like, "Okay, well, don't like take so long to give the answer." And she says, no, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I don't think I'm making the wrong decision, but we still have some things to figure out. I feel very
Yes.
insecure because I'm working on my transition. And I think that because I feel so insecure, it affects our relationship." And he kind of says, yes. And she says, "And it affects our intimacy." And she says, "So sometimes I feel insecure because I don't like the way I look. I don't feel like I look like myself. And so that's hard for me to be intimate." And she says, "I want to give you an amazing sex life and be very happy. But at the same time, I'm trying to complete myself and feel like myself. So I feel like I need to do these physical changes to feel less
Mhm.
insecure." And she says, "I really want to move forward and with the transition. And I've made an appointment with this doctor that I found." So Shawn says in the talking head, she's been doing a lot of research since she's been here, which is fine, but she doesn't talk to me about much of it. She does the research, doesn't talk to me about it. And it's a little concerning. I'm trying to roll
Mhm.
with it, but there's going to be a limit to what I'm comfortable with. And I want her to be comfortable in her life, but I don't know if the marriage would survive it. Which I think is, again, it's honest. It's an honest thing
It's
that he's saying.
honest. It's not
Um,
a there's no enemy here. It's just
right.
a hard it's a tricky situation. Who's paying for all these surgeries? I have questions about. I'm I feel like I'm assuming he would be.
He is. Yeah.
Um, Also, if there is a line, like if there is a limit, like he doesn't want, you know, gender affirming surgery,
Mhm.
like, or whatever, like if he's fine with like a brow thing and then that's it,
Yeah.
like they need to discuss this
Yeah.
before the wedding.
Yeah.
But she
So
might not know what she's comfortable with right now. She might be okay now, but then in several years, she might want more surgeries.
yeah. Yeah. So she says, I want to talk to the doctor about the procediments and the hormone therapy. And he goes, okay, good. I think you should get some information. And she says, um, and he says, should I go with you to the appointment? And she says, yes, I want you to go to talk about the procediments. And so he goes, okay, procedures. But she says
He's
procediments
trying
the
not to
whole time.
correct her, I
He's
appreciate that.
trying. He's trying, but you could tell he's like,
Because last
oh.
week they did have a conversation, like a quite a long conversation about, like, she doesn't like being made fun of, and he makes
Hmm.
fun of her a lot, like, the way she talks and, like, her phrases, and that she doesn't understand his, 1940s references, and, like, so I hope he takes that into consideration in the future.
I felt like he was trying to not every time she said procediments to say procedures.
Right.
He only said it once. He only
Yeah,
said
he
it
kinda
once.
mumbled it,
And I said
like
procedures, but she didn't pick up on it, and so he's like, "Okay, she's gonna say
Yeah,
procediments, and it's fine."
yeah.
So they go to the doctor, and this is a doctor that specializes, in transgender people that wanna change, either way, and I felt like she did enough research because this doctor seemed very knowledgeable and very
Mhm.
loving and,
Yeah,
sweet.
great.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
the doctor says, so they sit down, and the first thing is the doctor asks Shawn, "So how are you feeling about all of this?" Which is an interesting take too, because and I'm glad the doctor did that because the doctor is recognizing it's more than just the person, it's affecting everybody
Mhm.
around them for various reasons. So he says, uh, "I'm just here. I just want to support her no matter what," and which
That's not true, though.
is not the truth, what he just told us.
No. Uh-uh.
So Aliyah says right now her main concern really is this brow bone. She wants to get the brow bone shaved down and she wants breast implants. So the doctor says, "Well, have you thought about breast implants?" and hands her like a little silicone thing. And so the funniest thing, Sean's like, when you're putting your hands on your boobs, so you want it to be like this or like this or like this or like this. It's like, my God, she's not Larissa. God, she's not
Yeah.
trying to.
Oh, God.
And she's like, "I don't know. I haven't thought about it." It's
Even
kind of,
Sophie, those looked so painful at the reunion. It
I
just looks so
know.
tight. The
I
skin
know,
is so
tight.
tight.
It's just
Yeah.
like Dorit on, Beverly Hills. When she first got him, I was like, "Oh, his skin looks like it's just stretchy."
It like, I can
Jasmine
feel it.
too. Jasmine
Yeah,
too,
it
yeah.
feels so I can, like, feel my skin stretching.
And the talking head, Sean's like, "I've never been a boob guy. Was never really a boob guy, but now I'm kind of a peck guy and more of a butt guy, so all of this could be a transition for me." And okay. In the talking head, they talk about if they were to do genital surgery because she was saying the other surgery. And so the doctor says it would be genital surgery. Let's just call it what it is, how it would work. She explains how you take this skin, make this, make that. And I'm not a doctor. And Aliyah says, "Oh gosh," she's like, "all of this is so new for me, information. I just want the information." And the doctor says, "Absolutely. That's what you should be doing. Before you do anything, you need to gather the information. You need to think about it." And the doctor says the nicest thing, which I really loved. She says, "Remember, the surgery is not what is making you a woman. You're already a woman. It's
I
not the
loved that.
surgery." It was really nice. And she says,
Because there are lots of trans people who cannot afford surgery and may never
and
be able to
some
get
don't want
surgery,
it.
and some don't want it, and
Yeah.
so it's whatever you are comfortable with, and you work on yourself too inside,
Yeah.
and
I think Faith and Lauren said she didn't want the
yeah,
below the waist surgery. So I love that she said that. You're already a woman. There's no right answer here. There's no right choice. Whatever you choose will be the right choice for you, which I loved. So talking head Sean says, I do want to know where this is going because if she's planning to fully transition, I feel like I need to know because I fell in love with a man. And slowly, every piece of that person is disappearing. And I don't know if what Sean is really trying to say is if she gets rid of the penis, then that's the line for me.
yeah.
And I don't know if he wants to say that. I don't know if he's afraid to say that, but it kind of seems like that's what he's saying.
The thing is, like what the doctor said, like, you are a woman, on the inside, you are a woman, so, like,
Mhm.
Aaliyah is a woman, and you just said, like, you kinda would rather be with a man, and
Right.
so even if she doesn't have those surgeries, like
She presents as a woman. Yes.
she presents and feels in her soul that she is a woman. And so you can't keep bringing up, at least he's not saying the dead name. Like he's not said
He
that, which
learned.
is
He
good.
learned. Yes.
He learned, but like, yeah, I think the penis is like an important part for him because he could
Mhm.
like deal with like boobs and he could deal with like more feminine features, but maybe he really likes, I don't know. It's very complicated.
It's very complicated. I will be interested to see if she does this brow bone thing because I think what we've seen for her on the internet, I don't think she's done it. We did see Chloe. Chloe,
Yeah, Chloe
she
on
just did it.
Diaries, right?
She just did
I
it.
can't I can't wait to watch that episode. I love
Mhm.
Chloe.
She
I'm
just went to
rooting for
Houston
Chloe.
to do it. She, like, went to Houston, Texas, like, that was the doctor she
Wow.
found, like, she lives in London, yeah. Okay, let's move on to, Mark and Mina and Martini Pat.
So they got back to New Hampshire and immediately Mark took a 5-day flying job.
Mhm, good for him.
Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
good for him.
she's now bored at home with the baby in
Mhm.
the old person house that smells like old man farts. And I'm just like guessing.
The man's gotta
And
work. I mean, good for him, like, he's gotta work.
he does have to work. He has to
Yeah,
pay for all those clothes she bought at that clothing
exactly,
shop. But
exactly.
like she's bored. She's at home. She's wandering around the house. She's looking at the family photos with the X in them. And she
Mhm.
said, I feel like she's watching me. Like her eyes follow me everywhere I go. So she just starts taking down the photos. And
Mhm,
then she starts analyzing every single photo he has, like going through like loose leaf photos and like photo albums. She's like pulling out everything. And we see photos of a young Mark flying George Bush,
mhm,
the OG George Bush.
mhm.
And I think Dick Cheney, it was very fast. It was an old white man that looked like Darth Vader. I think it was
Yeah.
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, could be.
And so then there's a photo. This is my favorite scene ever. So she looks at this photo. Mark is wearing a face mask,
Mhm.
like pandemic style face mask, with a woman who's also wearing a face mask. And Mina's like, who is this woman? Maria. Like she talks to the baby. Do you know who this woman is with Mark? Who is this woman? And it's Kamala.
It's
Like
Kamala Harris,
she
everybody.
she now I don't know much about French politics, so I'm not judging at all. I know Macron,
Mhm,
Emmanuel Macron,
mhm.
but I wouldn't know like
Do you
who
know about
ran
his wife,
against
though? Do
him.
you know about his
I
wife?
d- I don't know much about his wife. No.
Okay, well, his wife was his teacher, and I believe she's, like, 30 years older than him.
I did see something
Yeah.
like I have seen like age difference pop up between
Mhm.
so I'm gonna need to look into that.
It was a
Yeah.
grooming situation, but continue.
Okay. It's like
Okay.
that one actor that is dating the manager and they have a child together, but he was like 18 when she first signed him and now
Yes,
they have
I know
children
exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
and she's
Uh-huh.
like 48 or something. I don't know.
Mhm,
I don't know his name. But people are concerned online.
mhm.
So anyway, she's like, "Who is this woman? Who is this?" And then she leaves out the photo and she's like, "Mark is going to have to explain to me when he gets home who this woman is." And
It
they keep doing a close up
was the
of
vice
Kamala and
president of the United
yeah,
States at
I
the
thought it
time,
was
yes.
so
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah.
So, she's going to see Martini Pat. She's been invited to join her crochet club. And she goes outside with the baby and we see a huge turkey walking around outside.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Why do people kill those birds? Gorgeous. So also that's just how
Ew.
remote they are, that a turkey is just like, "Hey, I'm just crossing the street."
I do
So,
not find turkeys to be attractive. I'm sorry.
those feathers?
No.
Okay.
Are you sure it was a
So,
turkey?
I think it was a turkey.
The
Maybe it was a peacock. I think it
Okay,
was the
well,
turkey.
if it was a peacock, then
So
it's pretty, but yeah.
so she calls Mark because she's forgotten how to get to Martini Pat's house. There's not a lot of homes around there. It's like
Yeah.
one road and then like maybe a house, and then you have to like go half a mile and there's like another house.
Mhm.
It's very pretty, but also like where slasher films take place.
These
So
homes have garages for airplanes. They
yeah,
have to be
they're
spaced pretty far apart. Yeah.
Yeah, but like here in Southern California, you are like an inch from your next door neighbors.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
would prefer this, but I would also be scared at night and I would have an alarm system.
same.
So she goes to the house, he helps her find it. He's like in French, like, I don't know where you are, but like 3 houses go to the left. Like there's keep walking. Like, I don't know where you are.
Yeah.
So it's like when my mom calls me and is like, how do I find this TV show on my computer? And I'm like,
Ugh.
I'm not seeing what you're seeing. And she's like,
My
where
mom will
what
always say, "Mine doesn't have that. My
yeah,
TV doesn't
mine
have
doesn't
that."
have
And I'm
that.
like,
And then
"It
you drive
does."
over and you're like,
Yeah,
it's right there. Thank
it does. My mom will go, "My iPhone doesn't have that option." I go, "It's an iPhone. You go to settings and you go to general and then nope, my iPhone doesn't have settings."
When I
It
lived in
does.
LA, I was on the phone with my mom. I started crying because I was so frustrated, like, literally, and I never cry. Literally, I started crying. I was so frustrated. I was like, we were both on the same web page, and I was like, at the bottom, it says like enter, submit, like
Yeah.
it says it. And like, no, finally, after like literally 45 minutes, she's like, oh, you just swipe down, you just
You
scroll,
have to
and
get
then
to the
it has
bottom.
you have to
Yeah.
scroll to the bottom. So all the ladies are crocheting, including Dot. That's one of those old lady names that's very
Mhm,
cute, or Dottie.
mhm, mhm.
And then so Martini Pat, aka the original MP.
Wait, what was
Are
the
you
name of the
okay with that?
house? What was the name of the house?
Oh, it's
It was like
is it
Bob's Bird
Bob's Birds house or
something.
something?
It had 2 B's, and I was like,
Yeah,
"What?"
must be her husband. So,
And yes, I am offended. You may not call Martini Pat the original MP. No,
but she's older than you.
I don't care. She doesn't get to take my name. She's Martini Pat.
Okay.
That's good enough. She doesn't need another name.
Okay. So she calls this group Stitch and Bitch, and you drink and you complain, and like you have to complain if you were there. And
I
I
love
love
it.
this. And
Love.
they say all the men here are type A's, they're pilots, like they think they run the show, and so we as the women have to bitch about them and we have to stick together. So I love it.
Love.
And so Mina sits down, like instantly starts bitching. She's like, which was what the group is for. She's like, I am stuck at home alone. I watch TV and I sleep. I watch
Mhm.
TV and I sleep. Like, I'm so bored. And they said, have you traveled to see Mark's family? Have you seen any of America? And she says, yeah, we saw the family. And they go, do you get along with them? And she goes, yeah. And they're all like, and she goes, okay, no, they told me I need to sign a prenup. And Jennifer, who is Pat's daughter and is still older than Mina, is like, and her wife Tara.
Mhm.
So these cute New England lesbians are
Yes.
like they're like, "What? A prenup? That is bullshit." Like, no, they just want to make sure you don't touch the money. And they're all like going, "You cannot do that." And Mina goes, "I don't know what to do. I'm just a small cat. I'm terrified." Like,
Did
she's
she say
like a
I'm a
little
small cat?
I don't know what metaphor is in French
I
that
don't
she
get
was
it.
going
Yeah.
for.
Mhm.
But like also she's not a meek, like there's nothing about Mina that's meek. She does cry
No.
very easily, but she's not meek. Like I
No.
would not describe her as that way. So Martini Pat says, you deserve money in the prenup. Your daughter deserves to be protected. And so Mina says, well, I do have an idea. I'll sign the prenup if he legally adopts my kids, which I think she just means her son, unless
Clayton.
there's a
Yeah.
third child we don't know about.
Yeah.
So she wants to make sure my kids are taken care of. And then Martini Pat starts crying too. And she's like, I just have not seen a woman in this situation. You are in this position with 2 kids. You are counting on him, and there are no guarantees for you, and that's not fair. And like, it's very sweet. And they're just really, like, really rallying around each other. And Mina starts crying, and she's like, I left everything to come here. My friends and the baguettes, and my sister, and my son is, and like, she goes, I don't care about my feelings. It's about my kids. I want my kids to be protected. This is like a lot of what Jasmine says, but like I think Mina actually is going to follow through on
I think
this.
she means it. Yeah, I think she
I
actually
think she
wants her
means
child to
it,
come here. Yes.
whereas Jasmine forgot about it pretty easily when she
Well,
came here.
she
So
has a new baby now. It's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. She's a new one.
Yeah,
Forget
that's
about
fine.
the old ones.
Picked a new
So
one.
she says he hasn't agreed to it yet. I don't think she's actually even told him yet. But she presents it to them as if like, yeah, this is what's going to happen. But she still has to talk to him. And the ladies are all like pumping her up. Like, you could do it. Like, I love this group. Like, can I join? I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
crochet. Can
Yeah.
I diamond paint, knit? I'll do it. Like, I can do it all. So like, I want to hang out with these older ladies. They're
Yeah, it was
so
fun.
fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
By the way, the lesbian couple were probably my age, so I felt them. But it's funny, it's like Stitch
But
and Bitch
again,
is
Mina's in her 30s.
I know. I know. The Stitch and Bitch, though, it seems like none of the only thing required is to bitch. You don't have to stitch and you don't have to drink.
Right.
You just have to bitch.
I think Dot was crocheting something, but most of the ladies were just drinking. Yeah.
They looked real serious.
Yeah.
Um,
But I love it.
I loved it
Also,
too.
it snows a lot there, so,
Yeah.
like, you have to stay inside. So, like, this is perfect. I love
Mark's
this.
gonna come home and she's like knitted a rug.
Yeah.
Um, she's like, I've been at Martini
Well,
Pat's
also,
every
like,
night.
he sent her to Martini Pat's to become friends and
Yeah.
find, like, community, and they hate him. And they're like, F men, we are here for the women, and, like, we want her to get hers." And so now she's has, like, this new feminist lease on life thanks to the Stitch and Bitch group,
I
and, like,
know.
he's like, "That's not what I intended when I sent you there."
He's like, Pat, remember what we talked about.
But also he had the same thing with the lady who owns the clothing shop. I think he thought she was gonna put in a good word for him, and
No.
instead she was like, she hates Mark, and she was giving all of his dirty secrets. No
Who
one likes Mark.
posted it was either it was either Reality Gaze or DocuSweeties. It could have even been a Little Miss Recap, but I don't think she covers this show. Somebody posted a picture of Mark and his first family, and then Mark with this current family, but they replaced his face with a Cabbage Patch doll in all the pictures, and that shit was funny because I was like,
Yeah.
at first I was like, I wonder why they put that face over that. Oh, it's Mark.
Yeah.
He does look like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Oh, well, on Reddit, they said he looks like an elderly lesbian named Brenda or something. Like, if you put little pearls here, it would be like, yeah, I could see that. He
Yeah,
has a round, um, happy face, which is the doll aspect, the Cabbage Patch doll aspect.
and he wears transition lenses, which makes him look old, and his hair's a little permed. And if he just got a facelift, I think he would look brand new.
Yeah, she could
T
let
Take a few more
Mina
jobs and
take care. Yeah.
get done,
Mhm.
get that done. Okay, Stevie and Mahdi. So, Mahdi is upset, I guess is what happened, last week, is that he's upset because Stevie painted her friend Claire in the nude.
And
So
didn't
he's
tell him.
It didn't tell him. So again, he thinks this is speaking of lesbians, again, he thinks this is a lesbian thing. He thinks she's full gay because listen, my sister's an artist and she's got nude paintings in her house. And that doesn't, I
Yeah,
mean,
but that's not his culture, so he doesn't
it's not
get
his
it.
culture. He doesn't understand.
He
And
also
also,
thinks homosexuality is very, very wrong. So,
did he say that?
yes, he does. He
Oh,
thinks
he
it's
did say
he
that.
said he thinks that it's wrong. In his culture, it is wrong. I told
Interesting.
Maddie, I said, give him a few months in New Orleans and he will be like wearing leather and a ball gag in a like gay pride parade on
Yeah.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
He'll embrace it soon.
He seems way more open than that. I'm very surprised.
Mhm.
And maybe he's just saying, in my culture, this is how it is, and I'm trying to, like, adapt to a new way of thinking, you know?
I
Um,
think he'll come around. I really
yeah,
do. It's
yeah,
just he only has 90 days and this is
yeah. Well,
but I
okay.
think there's hope for him. He's not like a bigot that I would look at and be like he's never going to change. Like I actually think he could.
I
I
feel like
actually
he's
think
open-minded.
I think he would do really well in the gay community. He's very good looking, very fit.
Well,
Um,
yes, but he's not gay, so stop. Okay,
has
so,
he ever been given a chance to explore?
well,
No.
I don't know.
Maybe he's protesting too much.
Oh my gosh. So, the 2 of them are giving each other the silent treatment, and she says, "I don't feel like I need to apologize because I haven't done anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong by painting my friend nude." So now this is where I don't understand. Was it a paid job? Her friend was like, "Oh, you do these amazing paintings. Will you paint me? I'm gonna like present it to my husband for Valentine's Day? Or was it she's practicing her nudes and she was like, I've run out of nude models. Hey, Claire, what are you doing? Can you come over?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would guess it was more like the first. I think part of his issue was he had thought that all these women were sending her photos and she was painting them off of the photos, and he didn't
Oh,
realize there was in-person nudity. Like, the nudity is in the room with us, and
oh,
Claire was
okay.
actually physically there too, so that really bothered him
That she was like
because he felt
posing
like
you.
it wasn't how she had presented it to him, that
Okay.
he
Okay.
had misunderstood that these women who were paying her were sending photos of their bodies and then off of a
Okay.
photo.
Right. Okay. All right. This is very layered. So, he tells us, I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed by what she's told me, and I just want her to be honest with me, and she just needs to tell me if she's bisexual. Like, maybe she just wants to get married, and then later she'll tell me she doesn't wanna be with me, and then I'm gonna feel trapped. I'm gonna feel set up. Well, no, you're not gonna whatever.
But that's the risk you take when you marry someone. They could
Yeah,
fall
they
in love with someone else, and it
totally.
happens with a lot of marriages. That's
Yeah,
cheating happens or divorce happens.
it
It
doesn't
doesn't
have
really
any
matter what the
yeah,
person's gender is. Yeah.
totally. Doesn't have to be bisexual. It doesn't have to have anything to do with gay nude paintings. It just could
Yeah.
be the person decides to leave you.
And they
So
fall out of love. Yeah.
she pulls up to the house and calls him and is like, "Hey, I got smoothies. You want to come out to the car?"
She kept saying with protein. Did you notice
With
that? I
protein.
got I got Maddie a smoothie with protein. I'm
With
hoping it'll
protein.
smooth things over.
Here's your smoothie. Yours has protein. Mine doesn't have
She
protein
mentioned
because
it like 2 or 3 times.
I don't care about protein, but you care about protein a lot. So he brings her little purse backpack, which was
I thought
thoughtful.
it was his. I thought he was walking out of the house with a man purse, and I was like,
Me too.
"And you're worried about her being bisexual, and you're embracing a man purse."
It was
Not that there's
hers.
anything wrong with a man purse.
It was hers, then I looked it up. Not real.
Fake.
So, it's
How
not.
did you know just from the thing? You're so
Uh,
good.
it
You're
it
real
does
talent.
it doesn't exist. That purse doesn't exist.
Ah.
That style does not exist.
Just to
So,
be clear, there's nothing wrong with being bisexual. There's nothing wrong with wearing a man purse. Nothing. The two don't have anything to do with them, and there's nothing wrong with either one. Just want to be really clear. I hope everyone knows that.
yes, there's nothing wrong with any of these things. We're discussing
Okay.
what's presented to us on our
Yeah.
television, which was a fake backpack. Okay. So,
That's what we're more offended by.
I'm more offended by that.
Yeah.
So he gets in the car and he's watching football, soccer on his phone. She goes, "What are you watching? What you watching?" And he says, "Oh, football." She goes, "You watching soccer?" He's like, "It's called football." So they go for a walk. I got you the protein smoothie. And he says, "So you know what I'm going to ask you?" And she goes, "Don't do it." And he says, "This is the last time I'm ever going to ask you this question." She goes, "I prefer that you did not ask me because I've already told you the answer." And he goes, "So I'm going to ask you one more time." They go back and forth like, "Don't do it. Don't say it. I'm going to ask you. Don't ask me. You already know what the question is. You already know what the answer is."
Yeah.
So she says, "It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Whatever I prefer doesn't matter because I'm in a relationship with you. So we are together." And she goes, "And if I say no to your question, you won't believe it. You're just going to have an assumption." And he goes, "No, I would believe you." And she goes, "Okay, no." And he does not drop it because she
Mm-mm.
says, "If I answer you and say no, you won't believe it anyway." And he goes, "No, I will
But
believe you." She
she's
goes,
not doing it in a way that, like, she's telling, like, seriously no. She's doing it in a way like, "Fine, I'll just say no then." Like, it's not like that's her official answer, you
"I
know?
know, but I felt like he wanted an answer and he wanted her to just say no. And so she did. And that should be
And
it."
he's still not. Yeah, you're right, you're right.
Because whether or not in his mind or her mind, whether or not it's true, she said no. He has to believe what she says and then drop it.
Right.
And so he won't drop it. And she goes, "Just understand that you are enough. I love you and want to be with you. And none of this matters. That's it." She says, "You can choose what you want, just like I can choose what I want. I've told you 100 times that I choose you. So take it or leave it." 'Cause she's over it. She's like, we've had this conversation now 10 times. I've now given
Yeah.
you the answer and take it or leave it." So, of course, they're
I
gonna get
think
married.
she's gonna I think she's making it more difficult. out of principle. I think she could, just knowing him, the culture he comes from, she could just give him a definitive no, and
Mhm.
this would have stopped. But she keeps doing this. Why do I have to tell you? Why do I have, which I totally respect, because
Yeah.
she shouldn't have to talk about it. It doesn't matter. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. Maybe she doesn't want to talk about it on camera. Maybe she doesn't, maybe she's been married 2 other times. Maybe this has been an issue before or something, or
Uh-huh.
with her husbands. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know what, or she's doing it out of principle. Like, why do we have to assume everyone is straight? Like the
Mhm.
heteronormative, and then we have to ask if someone's gay because that's the different thing, whereas
Yes.
it should be everyone's on a spectrum. Like, I don't know why she's making such a big deal, but I respect it. But I think in this case, just it's causing more problems, and you could, much like you have to understand someone's like dowry culture, and you don't agree with that, but sometimes you have to go along with it because, like Greg said, like it's been thousands and thousands of years with the dowries. They're not
Yeah.
going to change it for me. So maybe you just have to go, I don't think it matters. I don't like that I have to keep answering this question, but I'm telling you absolutely no. Like, no, and be serious, and just maybe then he'd stop. I don't know. But again, I respect what she's doing, but
Yeah.
it's maybe causing more problems.
I agree with all of that, and I think she's digging in on principle alone, and that
Mhm.
I respect that she's just
Again,
like
like that's what I would do. I'm annoying like that. Like
and be like, "Oh,
I
and the
have
more you ask
my
me, the more I'm not."
principles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The more you ask, the
totally.
more I'm
I
not gonna tell you. Yeah.
100%. I would keep digging into.
But he
Um,
got his answer, whether it was under duress or not. So then because he said, once you give me an answer, whether it's yes or no, once you give me an answer, I'll drop it. Well, he
yeah.
wouldn't have dropped it if the answer was yes, but whatever.
But then he did say, like, what if I had like desires, like
Mhm.
I was, and she'd be like, that's whatever. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't ask you,
Because we've
like,
chosen each other now.
yeah.
This is the
Hmm.
relationship we're in now. So whether there was another one with another man, another woman, whatever in the past, it doesn't matter because we're together now. This is the relationship we're in now. We want to get married.
Right.
And she keeps going, when I get married, it's forever. I was like, well, um,
Uh,
okay. Next week on 90 Day Fiance, Jessica and Juan are having a bachelor and bachelorette party. There seems
I'm
to
so
be
excited.
cowgirl strippers. Yeah. Okay.
I'm so excited.
Um, he says having this bachelor party makes him feel alive. Oh, he wants to go back to work, is what he says.
This might open Pandora's box. Like, he remembers how fun drinking and partying is.
Also, maybe he could get a job as a stripper because he's like,
That's a
hey,
great, if she was
yeah,
okay with that, he would
yeah,
do so well at bachelorette parties.
he's so cute and he's fit. So,
Mhm.
Mina tells Mark she will sign the prenup, but he's going to need to officially adopt Clayton. And we are made to believe that he's like, oh, geez, whoa. But I don't think that's it at all. I think he's literally going, of course, I've already told you I would. I think that's what
I
is happening.
I hope so, and it's not like a Jordan's not gonna like this
Oh,
type
well,
thing.
she's not. She's not, but too bad. Maddie and Stevie have drinks and it looks like they're in New Orleans and they're walking around. And now all of a sudden he's got this friend that we've never seen before who has a very severe dimple with hair in it. Um,
Oh.
yeah, it's like a soul patch, but it's down in like a chin dimple situation.
Oh, yeah, I love a butt chin. I love it.
Okay, but
Love
this is
that.
filled with hair.
But I don't like it with hair. No,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
hair.
like it
It's
with
a
hair.
hairy butt face
Mm-mm. No,
situation. So
that I don't like.
And the friend says, I'm worried about him marrying a girl that he barely knows. And then he says to Stevie, I don't see a lot of sacrifice on your side. Who's this jerk with the hairy butthole face?
What does she have to do? Like, they're moving to, like, what
It's not like she can't
sacrifice?
move there. I mean,
She can't move there. She has 2 children.
yeah.
Um, I don't know what she's supposed to do. This is not like Shekinah, who was bragging that she cleaned out part of her closet. Like, and I made such a big sacrifice. Like, I just don't know what sort of sacrifice he would want from Stevie.
Yeah, I don't either. So I don't know. Maybe we're just being made to think he's a jerk, but he seemed like a jerk. Now we
Mhm.
see eye roll Amani and Matt talking to this troll, Ray, who says,
Stop! That's not nice.
who
nice.
says that Amani and Matt are talking to Ray, who says Ani's name is really Brenda. He says, but you know her as Brenda. What? Her name is Brenda. And then Ani walks up and they all are smile talking because it's fake. And she goes, hi, Brenda. And they're all like, smile talk, smile talk. It's all fake. And Shekinah and Sarper's fight was also fake. So we had double fakeness this week that I had to cover, and I'm unhappy about it.
I really need this to not. I'm so sad to hear they are on social media together, the three of them. I really wanted this to be a catfishing situation, and
That
she's
Brenda
fully
was just
using
trying to
them.
take them for what they're worth. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I wanted, and if that's not the case, I'm
No,
sad for
they're all
everybody
together.
involved. The
Unless
children, I'm scared for the children. I'm sad.
they're still just dating, and she's just trying to get citizenship another way, and then he could stay married to Amani, because I don't see a world where he's going to divorce Amani and then bring Ani over on a 90-day fiance visa. I don't know, but they did it on Seeking Sister Wife. Garrick got divorced from Danielle with 2 N's and 2
But
L's.
he just really wanted to, and
He just actually hated his wife. Yeah, that was.
yeah, and she's so sad. I feel so bad. I feel bad worse for Danielle than about anyone else on TV.
Yeah, she's gone back to like waitressing, and she has a baby because her husband has migraines. No, I hate her.
God.
I mean, I don't hate her. Sorry, I hate him. I feel like she's in a coercive control situation.
Yeah, seriously. I need her brother to and his wife to kidnap her and decalcify her or something.
Yeah, they were very
they
nice.
hate the situation for her.
What were their names? Their names were like, they had the same name. They were like Nick and Nicole or something like that. Like Mike and Michaela. I can't remember what their names were. We need them back. We need them back on our television. I keep asking the TLC people. I'm like, when are we getting Seeking Sister Wife? But
yeah, is it not because we have now Poly family? So maybe they are trying to do one at a time.
Well, maybe they're just trying to prime us up with Poly Family, and then once we're done with Poly Family, we're going to roll right into Seeking Sister. They're trying to just get us ready.
It's a fluffer.
It's a fluffer.
Poly Family is a fluffer.
I haven't watched Poly Family though. Is it good?
It's fascinating. Yeah.
Okay. Writing it
There's
down.
lots of weird dynamics going on. Yeah.
All I saw was a preview where the one lady was like, I feel left out. I think I'm going to try to breastfeed the baby, but I didn't give birth to the baby. So how you would produce milk, I'm not sure. Maybe there's a way. Somebody will tell me.
Wow.
Somebody
I haven't seen that episode yet.
What's happening over on A Date with Dateline? By the way, I've been listening to your podcast when I've been flying because I find it very soothing to have you and Katie in my ears.
Oh, thank you. We have a new episode coming on Wednesday called Murder in Minot. Minot, which we thought would be Minot, but it is Minot.
Minot. I would either say Minot or Minot. Minot. Okay. And where is Minot located? What state?
South Dakota, North Dakota, one of the Dakotas.
Just a place I've never been. Okay. And was it the Friday episode?
Yes.
Okay, great. Because I've got it on my
Katie
DVR.
has a great title pun that references the Kendrick Lamar Drake feud because we are topical. So
Katie is so good at puns.
I know.
She is so good at it. And you really have to have a certain kind of brain for that because I'm not good at naming things.
I can't do it. I can't do it. That's why I hate them usually because I just am more frustrated with myself. It's an internalized pun knowledge.
But I think that you have a podcast partner that can do it so well. So you need to release that stress on yourself and let that be her
I
thing.
Don't do titles anymore.
Don't even try.
I gave up. I don't even try. Yeah.
She's so good with that. That is 3 people this week have sent me the girl that you've had on your podcast, the girl Peaches and whatever that does the Dateline binder.
I know. It's like making its go around again.
Did it come back or did she make a new one?
No, I think it's the same one that just is coming around again. And people are sending it to me too. And I'm like, we did a whole live stream with her. Go to our page.
For the 2 people that sent it to me initially, and the third one I haven't responded to, I wrote back and said, Kimberly and Katie love her. And she's been on with their show.
Yeah. On our YouTube channel.
Yeah. I was like,
you did a live stream with her and Mank.
Yes.
Her and Josh Mankiewicz. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. The internet's weird. Like memes just will come around like every 6 months, the same meme, and everyone sends it to
I
you.
didn't click
And
it
you're
because
like,
I was like, I've already seen
oh.
this.
Yeah, I don't click it because then that probably it'll keep getting sent to you.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know how it works. They're probably listening to us right now, and then it's going to get sent to me again.
The minute I open my phone, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, Kimberly and Katie have a great podcast. It's called A Date with Dateline. They cover Dateline, and you can also follow them on social media and all the places at Dateline. And if you're feeling nice, you can follow me at Pink Shade Pod. And here's something you can do. And I asked for it last week, and only a few of you replied. So I'm going to say it again. Please go and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, wherever you listen. On Apple, it matters a little bit more if you listen there, just because it really helps an algorithm bump your show into other people's feeds. Sometimes if you go on your Apple feed, it'll say shows you might like, or because you liked this, you might like that. That's how our shows get in there. And if you have a lot of reviews, it also really helps, because then people look and go, oh, this show's got 10,000 reviews. I don't have 10,000 reviews, but you see that it has more than like 12, and you're like, oh, wow. Okay. So I should listen. There you go.
I
That's
just
it,
pulled
everybody.
open Apple Podcast to look at our reviews, and then I'll be sad the rest of the day.
I
'cause
don't
it's
do
always
it.
The one that's mean makes me the saddest.
There'll be 6 that are great and 1 that is so mean, and I'll think about that
Yeah.
mean one for months.
Yeah.
So every so often I'll send a bad review, like I'll screenshot it, send it to Ingrid, and she'll be like, shit, I was hoping you wouldn't look at that. Like, she will have already seen it and not told me, and then praise this is not the month that I decide to look at the reviews, because it's really like every
Yeah.
3rd month. She hopes it'll
I've
go
yelled
away.
at you before because you'll send me like a thing about anything negative. I'm like, don't send that to Katie. We got to keep her mental health good. So
No,
just
no,
like
no.
don't send anything about anything. No
Yeah.
problems. Don't bring up any comments on Instagram. Like, don't just send it to me.
I did 2 of my reviews recently mentioned that we have too many commercials. So, I'm sorry. I sent those to Ingrid. She's the one to complain to directly. Instead of leaving a 3-star review, you could just send us an email or a DM.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. If you've
Also,
got a complaint, DM at Pink Shade Pod.
do you ever watch TV? And do you write to those TV shows and leave them a review saying that they have too many commercials?
There is a
That's
skip
how
button.
this show stays on the air.
There is a skip button, and that is how we make money so that we can do this job that we love. The end.
Oh, look,
Okay.
there's one that says, I love this podcast. Huge Mank fan over here. Love Kimberly and like listening to her with Mary Payne as well.
What?
Look at you're in our Apple podcast.
Thank you. Yes, I get comments. I love Keisha, love Kimberly, love Amy, love all the co-hosts. So I like all that too. I like to mention other people. We got to all
I love those when you send those to me. I always get excited.
Rising tides lift all boats. Okay.
Exactly.
That's it. Kimberly and I'll be back next week, and I already told you what's happening the rest of this week on the show. So make sure you listen, because it's going to be good. But covering the valley with Keisha.
To Docu Sweeties right now.
Okay, good. And also, I did forget to mention I am covering the valley with Keisha. That'll come out on Wednesday. Okay, bye.
So excited.